Hello, hello, and welcome to the Illuminated Oracle of Cincinnati. I am Amanda Lumen, the Illuminated Oracle. Today, I would like to go over three different kinds of cards. We have your soul card, which is the card that pertains to your overarching PhD course in life. The card of the year, which is the universal card that will be the overarching theme or masterclass, and then your personal card of the year, which pertains specifically to, let's say, your minor studies in spicy psychology. As always, I am not here to offer you absolutes. You don't have to do anything that I share with you. This is just information and knowledge that I have obtained over years of reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and taking classes and just intuitive reading with tarot. And I'll also go over the actual card of the year this year, just to kind of give you a little idea. So, without further ado, let's do this. So the first thing I want to talk about are soul cards, or personality cards, as some people call them, or life purpose cards, as other people have called them. So your soul card is, all of this has to do with numerology, by the way. It is the 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year, all added up to come up with your PhD class lesson that you are cosmically set upon in this lifetime. Mine happens to be either 14 or 5, right? 14 or 5, right? So there are a couple of schools of thought, two differing schools of thought about whether or not we minimize the numbers all the way down to single digits in every case, or if we allow the numbers between 11 and 21 to exist in a double digit sense, so that it expands your theme on the major arcana, or your position on the major arcana. Personally, I will make it as low as possible. So I work from a space of my soul card being a 5, which is the Hierophant. I believe, and this is just my intuition, it tells me that the major arcana beyond the number 9 then becomes an idea of these themes that we go through in life, these cosmic and microcosmic, macrocosmic themes that we tend to go through, whereas from 9 all the way to 1, we're in our physicality and we're in a space that we can actually influence ourselves. The rest of it's beyond our control, but between 1 and the number 9, then we're kind of in this space where we can embody that archetype. And that's just me. I've heard a lot of different things. Whatever you believe is what you believe. Tarot is a tool, and it is all up to the person that's using it. So moving on, I am a 5, that's the Hierophant. So for the card of the year, that is for each year, 2022, 2023, 2024, and so on, we'll have a pertaining major arcana card archetype. Now for this one, I'm different. I will allow the double digit numbers to continue to be just what they are. So if this year it added up to 14, then I would utilize that card. But because this year 2 plus 2 plus 3, we have the 0 in the middle there just as a placeholder, that equals the Chariot. So here's where I'm going to go into what the Chariot means. The Chariot is a card of forward momentum, whether you want it or not. I'm using the Rider-Waite Coleman-Smith deck because it is the most universally known tarot deck. It's the original tarot deck. The Chariot is all about the forward momentum that we experience in life and how we need to pay attention to how we're utilizing our creativity and our logical thinking in order to navigate our path with the least amount of resistance and most speed. That doesn't mean that we're flying through life, barging through everything and yelling at everyone. Or it also doesn't mean that we're doing nothing and getting dragged and being a victim. It means that we are standing up, just as the chariot driver is standing up. Rarely, if ever, will you see a chariot driver sitting down in a tarot deck. But that means that we are at full attention. We are in full alignment with our beasts that pull us. It's either these sphinxes here, which I can get into in just a second, or horses, or if you're Freya, she was pulled along with a chariot pulled by cats. So, whatever your beast of burden is, and let's face it, motivation, discipline, all of those things, they feel like burden at times. Whatever that beast is, that we're taking care of them and that we are moving with trust. A chariot will not be driven by a beast that does not trust the driver. So it's taking care of what's motivating us, and also taking care of our duality, right? So we're all in some way creative. We're all in some way logical. We're all very good at looking at, either very good at looking at the abstract parts of the world or the possibilities of the world, or very good at looking at what is reality and what is here and what can be measured. So it's kind of bringing these two together, these seemingly opposed, polarized archetypes or energies together through trust and paying attention and alignment to propel ourselves forward on our path. So that's just a very abridged version of what the chariot means. I'll go into further detail in the chariot episode or video that I'll post later. So what that means for us is that this year, as the cosmic lesson that we're all learning, or that we may be faced with, is when do we need to pay attention? And how do we get intentional and very intimate about the ways that we navigate the world and the ways that we are propelling ourselves forward? How are we greeting the world from a space of action? And how are, in some ways, how are we being dragged? How are we playing a victim to a circumstance rather than actually standing up, taking ownership and saying, here I am, and this is how I've perpetuated this process. So that's the card of the year. I can expand later. If you just leave a comment and let me know if you would like to expand more on that, great. If not, please tell me how the chariot being the card of the year makes you feel. What do you think about that idea? And what maybe have I missed? Because I'm here to learn too. So yeah, that is the chariot. So for our personal card of the year, and I'll use mine as an example, the personal card of the year is going to be your 2-digit month of your birthday, 2-digit day of your birthday, and then the 4-digit year that we are in right now. So mine adds up to a 5. I minimized it down to a 5. And that is, again, the Hierophant. So you can either, again, two schools of thought here. When it comes to the broader concepts, I like a broader menu of what is being represented. When it comes to me specifically, I kind of like to dial it down and dial it back in, because to me, it feels a little less overwhelming. So for me, I have the Hierophant. So that is my personal card of the year, and I know what that means for me. If you have questions about what your personal card of the year is, please drop a comment, shoot me a DM. Anybody who's watching this knows me personally, so just hit me up and we can talk about that in a private session if you'd like to. So yeah, that is a lot shorter than what I anticipated, but that is essentially the three main components of, or I guess the beginnings of, how you can utilize numerology in the tarot as it pertains to the year that we're in. If you need a reminder, I always like to give something kind of practical. If you need a reminder of the chariot year and what that means to you, or what you should be kind of looking for, and I hate to use the word should, what you could be looking for, or what it may benefit you to think about, maybe do a journal on what really motivates and drives me. Do a journal or maybe a spread for yourself on what is distracting me and pulling me away, pulling my logical brain away from this, so I can't logically think about this, or what is distracting me and keeping me from being creative instead of allowing me to use my creative and abstract thinking to propel myself forward. The Chariot is also about movement, so getting into your body and thinking about how you can better, more gracefully move in spaces that sometimes you're a little clumsy in, things like that. That was a reach. We'll see. Maybe I'll try it. So yeah, I mean, there's a few ways you can apply it practically, but that is how we do card of the year, your personal card of the year, and then your soul, personality, life lesson card. So yeah, if you really want some good details on some of these things, a few of the podcasts that I listen to, I mainly listen to podcasts now when it comes to tarot. One of them is Strange Magic or Between the Worlds. And that's with Amanda Yates Garcia. She is a witch in LA that is a part of the rewilding tradition. There's also a really great intro to tarot podcast and card of the year podcast episode on the Seeking Witchcraft podcast. Both are found on Spotify. And then the Witch Yes podcast is also on Spotify. And they have, I think, a card of the year. If not, they do have some intro to tarot. So I did want to throw those out there as far as that goes. So yeah, maybe shoot a comment down below on what you want to see next. Because otherwise, I'm just going to start working through the major arcana. I might do a deck review, that could be something cool too. I have a brand new deck that I have not interviewed yet. So if you guys want to see that in real time, I've never recorded one of those, but I think it could be interesting. So yeah, as always, this is a safe space. If you have any questions, want to talk about anything, hit me up. I'm here. So yeah, have a great day.